Welcome to Jazz Voices, where we're shining the light on great jazz vocalists from everywhere. But today, we do not have a vocalist with us. Uh, I am hosting a winter jazz series, and C. Backus and Company will be performing this week. So we have the band leader with us, Mr. Crescendo Baccus himself. So I wanted to
Mhm.
get to know him and get a chance to talk to him and let him tell his story, his musical journey, so everybody could get to know him, and he's going to let us know what we have in store for this Thursday. So this is Crescendo. If you don't know Crescendo, he is a native Daytonian,
Yep.
comes from a musical family. I mean, when I say musical, you're going to hear today, but
Mhm.
I mean deep musical roots, and
Right.
he's played with many groups in the Dayton area and outside of the Dayton area,
Yep.
and he's played all genres,
Yep.
jazz, funk, gospel, you name it. And
Mhm.
he plays the piano, the organ, and the drums, and probably something else that I don't know about. I know.
No, that's it.
No, that's it. Okay,
That's
that's
it.
it. That's all. That's it. Okay. So, Crescendo, tell us how you got started in your music journey.
Oh well, I tell the story a lot. I mean, you
Mhm.
mentioned about my parents. I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't say sing anything because I would have ran all the viewers off. That's not my
Uh,
call.
that's not your
No,
that's not your
no,
jam.
no. Nobody would come Thursday. Just like, you know what? I'm gonna stay home. That's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, but it's always good to talk about my family. They're definitely my foundation. Uh,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
Ken and Tawana Backus, kind of a household name in our area. They
Definitely.
they went around doing gigs, family band. Mom has taught over. I think she at one point when she was living, talked about over maybe 30,000 some students. I mean, it's up there.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
to be honest, a lot of her students are success stories. A couple come to mind. One of our singers, and Nicole Cottom, used to actually sing with Zach and
Okay.
Roger,
Mhm.
and she recorded some of the songs. I don't want to misquote, but she's definitely on some of the bigger hits.
Mhm.
Um, I think she's on Computer Love.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but it's
That's all
between
right.
Computer Love. She's on there though.
Right, right, right,
And then we
right.
got a host of gospel musicians that are minister music.
Mhm.
They're worship leaders and things of that nature. So my mom's teaching with the School of Cape and Teach Music. We have a lot of success stories. I mean, just
Mhm.
so many. I was like, we'll be here all day trying to talk about that portion of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Oh,
my
I'm
oh, go ahead.
assuming that your parents were your teachers. Am I wrong in that, or did
Oh,
you have other formal
yes,
formal
yes,
teachers?
yeah, yeah. I mean, they're the most heavy influence in my life. So I would
Okay.
say yes, probably 80%.
Okay.
But I do have some other musical influences that kind of chimed in, and even I feel like even boosted me even more.
Oh, okay.
And no discredit to my parents or anything. It was just
No, sure, sure, sure.
I ran across a couple people. Wilbur Longmire, jazz guitarist
Mhm.
out of Cincinnati.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
he really. I'm not gonna go into details about some things, but he really, let's say, he groomed me, especially in the drum area. When I met
Mm.
him, I was 16 years old, hothead, and he really calmed the hotheadness down. So
Okay.
we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then
All
Chris,
right.
then I used to play with Chris Bowman, and Chris Bowman trio.
Mhm.
People
Okay.
remember that. So Chris, and it was actually Chris Bowman, Gil Gaddis, and myself, and we would go around town doing all these like trio things. And then
Mhm.
I actually learned a lot from both of them, really, just about musicality, especially soloing, especially with Bowman. Bowman really got me into the whole how do you set up a solo and things of that nature. And I use
Okay.
that approach between drums and actually piano as well, just as far as that setup. So just a
Mhm.
combination of my parents and then some other musical influence for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Formal training. Have you had any? I mean, other than just having these deep musical roots, where you were just around music all the time. So
Just
you just
around. Yeah.
You just picked up the drums and you was like, I mean, it's just something that came natural to you.
Well, yeah, drums. I actually started playing when I was 2 years old,
All right.
and there's I had to find it, but my father that's still living, we had to find those videotapes. You can actually find. I was on channel 2 and 7 when I was 2 years old.
Oh,
And,
really?
and there's actually photos of Cheryl what's that, Cheryl? I can't think of her name right now, but the newscasters are working. They actually remember this.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so there was photos of me when I was 2 years old. There was
Mhm.
another one when I was 6 years old, and that's the ones that come to mind right now. But I've been on all the TV stations at a younger age.
Mhm. So you
And then,
always knew that this is something that you would do full time?
yes, yep.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of weird, my mom kind of I shouldn't say wanted to talk me out of, but as you know, as a musician, singer, when you do this craft, sometimes it can be just a challenge. I'll just say challenge.
Yes. I think to say the least, a challenge to say the least. It's, creating any artist, trying to make a living at it
Hmm.
and feed a family.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be you gotta be working like all the time.
Well, I've
So
been fortunate.
Mhm,
This is something I kind of preach to my students.
mhm.
Um, I've never had a clock in job. This is
Okay.
it. This has been it since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And kind of going back to what I was saying about my mother, it was kind of like, they were kind of a period where they were so on top, and then it started dying down. Just because of
'Cause it
DJ and all that
Mhm.
musical change.
Right.
So she got to a point with me. It was like, well, look, son, I see the change in music, and I can't really tell you if that's going to be a way to support a family.
Right.
Uh, and it was just a real moment, and we're talking about the
Mhm.
Delphi years, so we're like Delphi and all of
Mhm.
those are the things in Dayton, Ohio. Those were the jobs to have. You can do
Exactly.
that 30 plus years, retire, get a nice 401k, and keep
Exactly.
going,
Right.
keep going.
Right.
And
Right.
then here I am. It's like, nah, I want to do music. It's like, okay,
Right.
whatever. But
Right.
but yeah. So musical journey as far as drums, I started when I was 2 years old. The
Mhm.
piano came extremely late. I didn't start till 18, 19.
Really?
Yeah, just I really had
Okay.
no desire. I never had a desire to really play the instrument. I would
Mm.
kind of, I would kind of mess around. What's that song I end with all the time? Well, there's a reason why I end with Mr. Magic,
Okay.
because Mr. Magic was my first song I self-taught. I actually just taught myself how to play.
Okay.
But the funny thing about it is I never knew the song had a change to it. So I would always
Mhm.
play the bump, 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 bump.
Uh,
I thought that was the whole song. And then the other people say, "Hey man, you don't know the change to it?"
yeah.
Oh no, I just thought it was just two chords the whole song. So
Well,
now,
shoot.
I said I always end with that song, and I have a big full arrangement of it now. Just
Mhm.
because it's kind of a joke to myself. I said, well, this was the
Right.
song that I taught myself how to play, and
Right.
now like just like some big expanded craziness.
Right. I like that too. You gonna
Yeah,
play it this Thursday? You
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
All
That's
right.
like I said,
That's
I always had to hit it just because it's just a reminder to myself to say, look, I started from here, and
right.
look where it's grown.
Right.
Especially keys. Like you said, keys started later.
Mhm.
Um, and
Mhm.
drum. You asked about the formal part of it. Uh,
Mhm.
you remember the movie Drumline with
Mhm.
Nick Cannon?
Mhm.
Uh, that was me. If you remember the story of how Nick was in that
Mhm.
story, it
Yeah.
was like he had a gift, and
Right.
that's how it was. I mean,
Right.
I could hear it and play it right back to you. Little
Right.
side story of that, I don't want to be negative to any interview, but I'm a real person.
Mhm.
So I remember going to audition for Stivers. Now I'll never forget.
Mhm.
And it was like Stivers was really strict on reading music.
Right.
Well, I didn't get into Stivers playing any music, no drums, nothing like that. I actually just sang my way into Stivers.
Oh, and you can't sing, huh?
Then I
Uh-oh.
can't sing,
We're
but
gonna have you sing
I
today.
can carry a tune, but I'm definitely not confident in my singing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I actually sang
Mhm.
my way into Stivers, and but I actually did actually in chorus. That was actually very helpful. So
Mhm.
I got older, and I'm in music at a church now. And when
Okay.
it comes down to it, I can I can still get vocal parts to people,
Mhm.
I might have to play it out. If I had to sing it, you're going to have to pray for me.
Right.
Like, give me a second. You don't get it.
Right, right. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you've played, like I said, in funk groups,
Mm-hmm.
R&B, but
Mm-hmm.
you decided to form a jazz group.
Yeah.
What was that inspiration?
Okay. So,
What
uh,
inspired you to do that?
got you. All right.
Mm.
I'll go 2018. I don't know. It just kind of hit me all at once. I've been listening to a lot of with smooth jazz. I've been listening to a lot of Brian Culbertson at that time. It's
Uh-huh.
just like I just love Brian Culbertson, just the whole
Mhm.
vibe.
Mhm.
And I remember going to Guitar Center and kind of sitting down, and I started kind of playing some tunes, and it just kept coming to me. And this song that I'll probably do it on Thursday. It's an original tune came to me, and it's called "Let's Ride."
Mhm.
And I just started messing with it, and it came out. And as a matter of fact, I think one of the rehearsals you came to help us out with Flash and Top Secret, I think you actually heard the tune
Oh,
downstairs
yeah.
on
Yeah,
the bass.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. That's right.
And and I would experiment with everybody. When we get done rehearsal, say, hey, check this song out. I wouldn't say it was me or anything.
Uh-huh.
I
Right.
just check it out. So
Right.
the response was great. So I got to thinking about it. I said, man, I never really thought about pursuing this. Why not? I mean, I've played for
Mm.
a lot of people, and my wife is always pushing me. Why don't you do your own thing?
Mhm.
So, 2018, I actually did my coming out, like a soft coming out at Third Perk
Mhm.
Coffee House.
Yeah.
And that was like November. I can't remember what it was, but the wild thing was they had actually had election stuff going on the other side, and then
Mhm.
people were coming to support me. So it was like, okay, we have to wait till they get done with this, and
Oh,
then.
wow.
But we kind of did a little like a sound check, so a lot of people that came for that ended up
Mm.
staying,
Okay.
and
Okay, that works out.
it,
That
and
always works out.
it worked for me.
Listen, we don't care. Come on in.
Mhm. hmm So
Come
and
get the
it was
music.
great. So actually, that particular unit that I used for my coming out, that's
Mhm.
playing this Thursday. So that's Tony Wack, and
Okay.
I had to correct that. John, pray for John. He had a mild stroke, so he's recovering from that. Yeah. So John won't be there as far as this Thursday. He's doing better.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have Stephen Williams coming down, play
Oh,
drums from a
all
real
right.
great drummer out of
Mhm.
Cincinnati. He'll be
Uh-huh.
there. He'll be there
Okay.
Thursday. And then
Okay.
Audrey's been, I don't know, she's just been rolling with me ever since. So
Yeah, right, right, right. I
mhm.
remember seeing you guys at the Levitt Pavilion. Well, not I wasn't there, but you guys did a live stream
Oh yeah.
when we were locked down
Yep.
at the Levitt Pavilion. That was
hmm
good. Yes,
hmm
yes, yes. And like I said, you were here for the Summer Jazz series. I'm so glad you guys can come back
Oh yeah.
this year. Uh,
hmm
okay, let's talk about your process when you're writing,
Okay.
because everybody wants to. Everybody can't write, even though they're musicians. It's not like you can write or compose a piece. So, what is
Right.
your process with all these technical um, things that we have, digital things that we have available now? Do you
Mhm.
use your instruments, or do you turn to like the MIDI files? What is it that you do? What's your process?
Well, I probably like any musician it's kind of like whatever kind of comes out first. If that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay,
So I'll use the technology. I might get maybe like a drum loop. I might say, all right, here's the loop. I'm
okay.
kind of getting something from that.
Mm,
Or like Let's Ride. I'll use Let's. Okay, I'll use that. I'll use Let's Ride as one of the main ones.
mm,
I just started playing some chords. Went around to the chord
mhm.
process and went down and then just start mapping it out. Say, all right, here's A section, here's the B section, here's the bridge section.
Okay.
And
Mm,
that's how I process things. I mean, I always just like a singer would come and say, "Hey, this is the verse, the chorus." And I actually map them out. To this day, I
mm,
have my iPad. I bring it everywhere, and I just
mhm.
chart everything. I chart everything out.
Okay.
And just to get the outline of how I want the song to go. Then the melody
Mhm,
line, I have to spend some time with that. And
mhm,
then kind of going back to the Chris Bowman thing, not so much the soloing part of it, but definitely trying to speak something. And that's from just like
mm,
listen, just different singers, saxophonists. From that aspect, I'm always thinking like how a soloist would approach the melody lines. Not
Mhm.
so much
Mm.
just a bunch of notes, if that
Right.
makes sense. Because
Yeah, yeah.
originally, and I'll use Let's Ride Again. Originally, when I first kind of recorded it, my first part of the song was busy. It was really like I couldn't distinguish between section A and section B. They
Okay.
sounded alike. It's like, okay, what's this section, this section? So
Mhm.
just go in the back and say, you know what? Well, what would a singer do? Or what even a saxophonist would do? And they would set the melody line up, and then they would
Mm.
go from there. And then there's a solo section and all that kind of good stuff.
Right,
So
right,
that's
right.
my approach to it.
Okay.
Usually try to get an outline of
Mhm.
it, and it could be going to the keyboard, or it could be just striking up some like loop or
Mhm.
something, or
Mhm.
even a drum beat.
Okay.
I might just kind of mess around, say, "Oh man, that's a good vibe for that." So that's
Okay.
usually my process. So,
All right. Any plans for LP or EP or
Yes,
it?
yes, yes.
Okay.
So Let's Ride should be finished. The real version. I say the real version of it. It's been a lot of
The
versions of
final version, right?
it. So hopefully get that out then sometime in spring. So
Okay.
definitely Let's Ride will be out in spring. That's for sure. And then I'll be working on the full album actually as we speak.
Okay, so we got the single coming out in the spring. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
did see that you had started another project with
Oh.
a harpist, and I didn't know what was going. I'm nosy on social media.
Oh, got you. Oh, okay.
I did see. I saw where you're doing something. Let's talk about
Oh
that.
yeah,
You know
that's a
what I'm
whole
talking
other
about.
bag. I'll be quick with that. So that when you see that particular post, me and my wife are actually trying to go into business for um weddings and doing like I want to create a wedding band,
Okay.
and I'm actually a part of one wedding organization out of Cincinnati,
Mhm.
and I got the idea from them. But I said, man, I and very rarely in Dayton, I don't really see any lot of bands, especially at like bridal shows and things of that nature. You always
Mhm.
see DJs. I said, wait a minute, hold on. People still like bands at their
Live.
wedding.
Right, right, right.
So that's what that was about. I was actually in a marketing class from Facebook all
Mhm.
all last week, a couple weeks ago, and
Mhm.
those the harpists. That was networking. That was my team. So I was the head
Oh,
of
okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, there was some harpers in there. There was a
Yeah.
string quartet. But it was actually a good thing. Uh, what's the string quartet out of here?
Uh-huh.
I can't think of their names right now, but they're
That's
pretty popular.
uh-huh. Okay.
And then, so it was just a big networking thing. But that whole venture was, yeah, I'm trying to create this whole wedding band, a whole
Mhm.
different aside from my jazz stuff. It's just a whole nother vibe.
Hey, you gotta diversify.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
So
diversify.
you'll be hearing more about that as that comes up. My wife, she's
Okay.
my was it A&R, P&R, H&R, I don't know
Right, right, right.
that
And that
CEO, I don't know that technical name, but she's
okay,
working on getting her business cards, pamphlets, all that kind of good stuff. And
okay.
you'll be hearing about that as well. That should be coming out soon. I have the personnel. Personnel's great. You'll
Mhm.
be, and, you'll be hearing about that soon.
Okay, good, good. That brings me to another question. Being married to a musician is probably not easy either. So, how would your wife describe the relationship with you as far as you being, a musician?
um, it's patience. I mean, and I'm speaking from her perspective, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
she was right next to me. I would say the same thing. I mean, she met me doing this, so
Mm,
it was very like, hey, this is part of him. So it definitely came with me. That's part of my package. You know what I'm saying? So, but
okay,
one thing I had to say is one thing I had to learn is balance
okay.
in
Yeah,
between family and doing music. You know, and I really wanted I really wanted a family.
right.
Sometimes as a musician, and I know how I can get so caught up in trying to just play the next gig and this
Yeah,
and that and the other, and then it's like, wait a minute, you still have a wife and a son that
right,
they still need you.
right, right. It's
That
tough.
it's and not going to deep stories or anything. It's just I definitely had to learn that balance.
Right, right.
Yeah.
'Cause you get down
Mhm.
in your basement where all your, your stuff is, and you start something, and it's hard to pull yourself away, I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm
So
sure.
now now it's just kind of, and I'll leave it alone. So now I purposely, uh, some weekends I'll take off. Where like I've had weekends where it's like every weekend I'm booked, booked,
Mm,
booked, 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 booked.
right.
Now I can get a call, and my wife says, "Hey, we got this going on." I'm good. I
Mhm.
don't, I mean, even it's $1 million. Well, no, she'll probably tell me to take it. It's $1 million.
You be
But
like,
anyway,
"You better get out of here."
but no, but all seriousness. But yeah, but if it's something like, I can think of my son's graduating this year, so
Uh-huh. Oh, really?
yeah, yep. So
Okay.
I already got,
Congratulations.
yeah, so I've already got
Congratulations.
a couple dates where I've already taken off. I said, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that either. I got to be there for the family.
Right, right. That's
Mhm.
good. That's good to
Mhm.
hear. That's good to hear. Okay, well, I had a surprise for you, but I'm not sure that she's coming on.
Oh,
Audrey.
okay.
I
Oh, okay.
I was trying to see. Yeah, yeah, I don't see her. Yeah, she said, okay, well. Oh
Oh,
well. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, so tell everybody how to follow you. Your
all right.
website, your social media, all of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the normal stuff.
Mhm.
Crescendo Baccus on
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram, the same thing.
Okay.
Trying to work up a website. You're gonna see a couple things with the whole C Backers and Company thing, and the other thing is called the Remix Band. So those are two portions. The wedding thing is
Okay.
remix, and then you got the whole C Backers and Company thing. But the main thing is right now is the atypical social media stuff. C Backers
Okay.
and Company, with Crescendo Backers, and then
Okay.
there's a C Backers and Company Facebook page, and I'm looking to do more with that. Some people
Okay.
going, they're checking to see what I got have going on, but I'm so used to
Mhm.
just putting it on my personal page. I was like, oh, I didn't even put it on see Backers and Company stuff. So,
Oh. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, okay, that's cool. And I am so excited about Thursday. This Thursday, we're going to be
Oh,
at Holy Grounds at 7 o'clock. Holy Grounds, 825 Wayne Avenue. That's in Dayton, Ohio. And 7
mhm,
o'clock, and C. Backus and Company will be in the house.
yep,
So, um, anybody who's watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share the channel, leave a thumbs up, all that good stuff.
yep.
And come on out to the show. You can get your tickets at jazzvoices.org, or you can pay at the door. We're going to have a good time.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Crescendo, thank you so much for joining me this tonight and sharing, a little part of your life, and what we can expect this week. So,
Oh, yeah. I want to leave a little tidbit. Those that come out Thursday, expect that's what my biggest thing is. I always say at the top of my set, I always say, always come expect a musical journey when you come to a C Backers and Company concert, set,
mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I always try to create a vibe in the room.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and you do.
expect
You're
there's
successful.
a lot of music. I want to kind of
Uh-huh.
expand some other things, and so
Uh-huh.
you're gonna hear a lot of music.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right then. Well, thanks again for joining me, and we'll see everybody again for more Jazz Voices. Take care,
All right.
Crescendo.
Uh,
Bye-bye.
all right.
Mhm. Mhm.